Hi, it's Jack down in Dementia Land on December 14th, 2009. It's Monday and it's still gray and gloomy and kind of drizzly, and it's been like this for days and days, and kind of depressing actually. But it's been kind of just a weird weekend because BJ is beginning his opiate rotation. Uh, which means they're switching him from one painkiller to another painkiller. And the first step in that is he's got to spend the first week with a reduced dosage of the current painkiller. It's reduced by 25%. So he hasn't been feeling great anyway, because the maximum dose wasn't working too well. But fortunately, this kind of warm weather, his pain hasn't been too bad. But then he was getting dressed the other day, and he was on his wheelchair, and I was getting ready to lock the wheel, and somehow he like slid to the front of the wheelchair and just bloop, slid right off onto the floor. So I don't think it hurt him too bad, but I'm sure it didn't feel good, and it hurt me pretty much because he's doing muscle relaxers now to make up for some of the pain medicine. So he's just like Mr. Rubberman, just just dead weight. So I somehow manhandled him up onto the chair, and everything was okay. So one of the things that we're going for now, and the lady at the clinic's helping me, is that we're going to get his wheelchair repaired. He's had it several years. It's just wearing out. Another thing they might let us have is something called a Texas catheter or a condom catheter. He doesn't wet his bed, he's not incontinent, but he's so out of it at night and much of the time that he'll fill up the pee bottle and then spill it. So the condom catheter is pretty much what it sounds like. It's a condom that goes over the end of the penis and has a tube coming out of it that goes into a receptacle. I'd like to try him, I'd like to have him try it, but it could be a case where he is so out of it, he might just feel it there and pull it out. One of the things that happened after his first operation, they put a PICC line in him when he was in the hospital. And a PICC line, I didn't realize at first, I thought they were just talking about a regular IV, but a PICC line is actually a tube that goes in somewhere up in here, one of your veins, and it's pushed all the way from here into your heart valve, and it's how they deliver certain kinds of medicines, or if they have to give a lot of medicine, or and they also use it to remove blood, to take blood samples. So BJ, when he was coming out of anesthesia, saw it there and ripped it out. So it's like a meter worth of tube he ripped out from his heart. So the doctors were amazed, and I'm glad I didn't realize what was happening at the time, or I probably would have freaked out. So that's how that he just gets really confused. So that's what we're working on, getting him some repairs and some new stuff and some things that will help me take care of him a little easier without hurting myself. And other than that, we didn't do too much this weekend, but I did work in the yard. I gave myself a little break. I didn't drink too much coffee, and I took naps, and I came out here and chopped a lot of weeds and cleaned up. Look at this. I'll show you behind me. Okay, see all that? This is that same area that we were starting to get invaded by some Japanese arrow bamboo that had planted over by the shed. It was starting to spread out, so I had to remove that. And that's a European fan palm to the left that I trimmed up, and a Chinese fan palm right there in the middle. And right there, that low palm is a sable minor, blue palmetto. It's full of seeds and stuff. So this is getting really overgrown here, so I'm glad I started to clear it out. Over here, some trees fell down. That's the back of the property. There's a swamp back there. That's where the gators come out of back there, so I don't go back there. But I'll clean it up past where that old birdhouse is. And in front of them, those are a bunch of baby needle palms that I put in about 8 years ago. I dug up one in the front and divided it, and I got about got about 12 new plants out of it, and they're just now getting big and nice. I think there's about 4 of them in there. And then there's the catfish pond. So you can see with all the rain we had, you can see how high the water is. So that's pretty good. And that's the swamp back there. And I'm leaving some of these shrubs, native shrubs, growing along the edge of the pond, just so I can catalog them. So I had to clean all this out last year a lot. I mean, this was all overgrown. So this year I'm just having to follow up and get the smaller stuff up. The beach down by the catfish pond. And then I'll show you one more thing. That's the big, down there at the end, that's the big, it's a live oak tree. There's about 3 of them there. They're really pretty. So when we have a nicer day, I'll show you more, and maybe I'll have it fixed up better. Well, I got BJ put to bed. It's about 11:30 right now. He by 10 o'clock he was already like real, kind of dopey or something. I don't know what was wrong. But he wouldn't, really like changes, getting ready for bed and changes his pants and all that. And when we were done, he kept insisting that he wanted his shoes. And I said, no, you don't need your shoes, you're going to bed. And he kept insisting, and so sometimes he likes to have the shoes under the bed in case he's got to get up. So he can't get up, but he just likes those shoes being under the bed. So finally I just said, well, okay, I'll put them under the bed. Is that okay, where they always are? And he's like, well, where's the other one? And I said, there's already 2 of them there. And he goes, well, I wear 3 shoes. It's like, like I'm being so stupid. And so I said it again. I said, well, I think, they're all there. And he goes, well, I wear 3 shoes like any normal person. So there I'm thinking, do I play along or what do I do? So I went in and grabbed one of my shoes and I put it there and I said, can it be any shoe? And he said, no, don't be silly. So I don't know what that was about. So anyway, I just talked him into, you don't need them now. And he was okay with that. He was so groggy anyway, so it's like, again, I hadn't even given him his nighttime medicine yet, and I had to manhandle him into bed. He just kind of sits on his wheelchair and flops over. And it's, that's why I was talking about that gait belt. It's like that canvas things that go around where you can just like pull them up, without hurting their bodies. So, oh man, he's big too. He's really big. So, if you ever have to take care of somebody, it's like little tiny people are better than real big people. So, so anyway, I don't know. I guess he's asleep now. So, I guess that's it for Monday, December 14th, 2009. Be good and grow. I'll see you next time. This is Jack.